So, definitely, Shannon, I want you to share what you shared earlier off the recording.
Absolutely. Let me
I
think of
want to pass
every.
it on to my wife and my four daughters and a bunch of other people that I have because I want proof. So, and I'm fascinated by how you led. I'm like, whoa, this girl's, man, you're amazing. So go ahead.
Oh, Mark, thank you so much. So, a little backstory about me. I'm in Alaska and we just got dumped on with snow. So, we've got
Okay.
like a ridiculous amount. I'm not sure where you're located, but I'm sure you're not here.
No, nope, we're not there.
And so, a little backstory about me. I grew up in a very small village, and I am the first first person, honestly, in my family to have gone to college and get a degree and all of that kind of good stuff. So what I did, Mark, is I did what society tells you to do. You get the good grades, you get the degrees, you get the certifications, you climb the corporate ladder, you get to the top, and you're supposed to be successful and you're supposed to be fulfilled. Well, I wasn't. And I felt so weird at that point because I had achieved success and I was trying to figure out what the heck is wrong with me. Like, I should be grateful. I should, all of these kind of things. And I realized when I was looking at my kids growing up way too fast in front of my eyes without me being even present for them, that life's not about that. And, a little bit more is that, when you're so busy working for somebody else, building the coffers for everybody else, all of those kind of things, you forget about God in the process too. And so that was really a huge wake up call. So thankfully, my health took a turn for the worse. I went through extreme burnout and anxiety, and it was legit, Mark. It was a sign that it's time to stop. And my doctor had told me if you don't stop now, you'll have a heart attack or stroke. And I'm too young for that, right? And my kids are too
Right,
young for that.
right.
And so I made the crazy decision to leave corporate behind. And I was like, well, I'm never going back to that rigmarole. So can I take what I've done in corporate and apply it for small businesses, the people who are putting food on the tables for other people, right? Where they're trying to support their families, they're working 60 to 80-hour weeks because they're really good at what they're doing. And I really have a heart for the trades. I've done trade accounting in the past. And so I really had a heart for them and being able to see them as a person and be like, you're working really long, you have kids, and you're still stressed to the max at the end of the day. Why don't you go get a real job, right? Because they're making less than what their employees are making at the end of the day. So I've taken all of my experience from corporate and I've thrown it into my business so that I'm able to help the little guy now. Like, I'm able to find those profit leaks. It could be something as simple as, hey, you signed up for that subscription back in 2020 when you needed it. Go ahead and nix that. And so it's able to find those small things, but also take them to a bigger scale. And so I'm really loving that. It's a little bit about me.
Nice, nice. So if you could go ahead and share what you shared at the very beginning. So I want to get that on recording for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
About like
What?
what you had studied about, you'd read about me and what you said about me.
Yes. Yes, so I had received the emails, but I'd also been looking at you, at your profile and everything like that, Mark. And I had received an email this morning, and I was like, okay, I need to figure this guy out before we start this conversation. And so I've watched the videos and I did the personality test, and I was like, okay, this guy is pretty cool. And so,
Right? And then you meet me. And it's like,
and
I thought he was cool before I met him. Now I met the guy. He's not living up to any, it's fascinating. So, what was it that you found cool? I always like when people find me cool. I want to find out what that is and how to reproduce
there,
it.
yes, I cannot remember the specific terminology that was used.
Uh-huh.
However, it was something like you love people, but you really dislike people at the same time. Something along those lines. And that resonated with me because that's who I am.
Mm, gotcha. So, Nora, on a subject line of an email. So, this is Nora. she's a business partner and a close friend, and she and I are co-authoring a book, Your Voice in My Headset. And so it's about friendship. And so she's a pilot. And so yeah, she and I are doing a bunch of really cool things together. And so Nora on email is do you love people but don't like them? So we want to get that out there because there's a whole group of us out there
Yep.
that, and those are the kind of people we want to talk to because,
I love that.
right? So, and then, so Nora, if you can do that, that would be awesome. So,
Yeah.
Shannon, what would you like to accomplish in our conversation today?
So, Mark, I want to hear more about your coffee chats. I also want to
Okay.
learn more about how you're successfully running 9 businesses and having 20 hours of spare time a week. And I really just want to, I just really want to hear you pour your heart and soul out of this. How did you get started? Like, why are you Mark and why are you cool?
Cool.
No wrong answers here.
So Nora can say it. She probably won't though. She's nice, and so she'll probably say, Shannon, don't get him, just don't get him started. Like, Shannon, don't you have something else to do today? So nobody told me like I was smart until I was 40. Not even my mom. My mom died like it was 7 years ago. My dad died a year before that. Love my mom. Absolutely adored her. Just amazing, just an amazing woman. But she didn't tell me I was smart. She just did, which is a gift because when you go 40 years of your life with nobody telling you you're smart, like at 40, everybody started telling me I was smart, which was strange because after 40 years, you're like, that's really strange. Like, and then you kind of learn. So I have social autism. Um, what does that mean? I think that if somebody is stupid, I should tell them they're stupid. I think that they're going to give me a hug. And then I think that all their friends are going to give me a hug because all their friends know they're stupid. I just care about them more than their friends do. So their friends have just learned, you know what, the person, like, we're just going to leave them be. So I'm strange, like very, very strange. When I was 8 years old, so my dad was a pastor. So I grew up very, 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 very conservative Baptist. And so I jokingly say that, as Baptist, conservative Baptist, God never speaks to you in a dream or vision. So, so I jokingly say he never spoke to me in a dream or vision because I wouldn't have believed him. But when I was 8 years old, I was at Camp Fairwood in Wisconsin. And I don't know, I was out by the canteen at night, and I don't know, somehow God just spoke to me. Just, I don't know, he just said. And the first things out of my creator was, soul or whatever it is to me was, Mark, you're an average to below average kid. That's what he told me. He's like, you're an average to below average kid. Honestly, I wish he would say that to more people, I think, because once you're told at 8 by your creator that you're not really anything special, you're just average or below, it helps you to have a humility, I think, for the rest of your life. You're just like, hey, God said, my creator said you're not that big of a deal. Then he said to me, he said, if you're a good steward with what I give you, you'll impact the entire world. So my life vision that I've known, so I'm 61. So my life vision that I've known for the last 53 years since I was 8 years old is to touch every single person in the world, one person at a time, make a huge difference in every aspect of their life in a really fun and exciting way. And so that's 8+ billion people. So I hate that stupid vision. It just like a friend of mine, Alan Stein, said, do you know when you discovered your life vision? And I said, I don't know. I'll bite. Why? Or how do you know? And he's like, well, when you hate it, you run from it, and it chases you and relentlessly pursues you, and you can't get away from it. Like, that's me. That's me. Like, I just want to be normal. Like, I just want to be a normal person, but I don't know. So let's see the short version. So I like to talk about other people because I'm really not that interesting. But at 40, I realized how to go ahead and have people think you're interesting, even though you're not. And so I ask people questions, and that helps me. So I ask them, 3 minutes of questions, and I ask in 11 minutes. Now you answered 3 minutes, and I could ask you 11 minutes of questions if that's okay with you. Because I'm interested in you. I mean, like you got me right away when you jumped on and you said, yeah, I watched some of your videos, and I think you said, maybe I misheard. That's why I wanted. I think you said, and you're an amazing guy. I'm like, wow, that's really cool. Like, one is she actually comes prepared and she actually did it. And they're short videos, so I don't care how much they do. Um, but I'd like to ask you some questions if that's okay with you.
Of course.
Okay. So, what do you think creates success for you? Like, why are you successful?
My version of success has completely taken a turn. And so if I'm able to provide for my family
Okay.
and I'm able to, create that legacy while also giving back to others, that's success for me. That
Gotcha.
wasn't success for me in the past, but that is my version of success right now and will always be.
Gotcha. Did you know that you have a very complex and unusual personality for a woman?
I am a very complex and unusual woman.
Okay. All right. Didn't know if
Yeah.
you knew that, but so in the geometric psychology test, you test out as an analytic, amiable personality. And so in that test, one of your greatest strengths is you like to dot your I's, cross your T's, make sure things are done properly in order. And
Yes.
one of your weaknesses might be you like to dot your I's, cross your T's, make sure things are done properly in order.
Correct.
Our greatest strength is our greatest weakness. Our greatest weakness is just our greatest strength misapplied is taking a strength and carrying it too far.
Yes.
Okay. Um, Another strength you might have at times is your concern, compassion for people,
Yes.
and a weakness is the same.
Absolutely.
Okay. Another strength in that is you would be very loyal, and you're really tenacious.
Yes.
So once you set your mind to do something, you do it.
Yeah.
A weakness for this type of personality at times would be that you might be a bit stubborn at times.
Don't ask my husband.
Right. And if that wasn't hard enough, you have a lot of data to back up your stubbornness. So people learn pretty quick. You know what? If Shannon has her mind set to do something, there's lots of data. Just let her do it. So you're actually like like my wife's personality. So my wife and I, we've been married for 41 years. We have 7 kids, 10 grandkids, and um, and so you're like her in that. Now on the pain quadrant test, you switch radically. You actually become my personality. So we tend to like people who are like us, and we tend to fall in love with people that are opposite of us. So if I said to you in front of our 7 kids that Shannon has the same personality as mom and dad, they'd be like, "Oh, Shannon." So it's
Yep.
really complex. And so in that test, you test out as a driver analytics. So one of your greatest strengths might be your drive, your assertiveness, you make things happen. One of your weaknesses might drive, assertiveness, you make things happen. You like in that personality, you like to go ahead and do things fast and perfect in that order. When I combine it all together, you'd be a chameleon personality. So one of your greatest strengths might be your flexibility. One of your weaknesses might be your flexibility. Um, when you're hot, when this type of personality is hot, they're really, really hot. When they're not, they're really, really not. The reason they're hot when they're hot is they're analyzing when they should analyze, execute when they should execute, focus on the task when they should the task, and people when they should the people. So probably since you're a little girl, people have said, Shannon, like, how do you do everything? You're like, you probably have this cute
It
smile.
just gets done.
It just
It
gets
just
done.
gets done.
Don't know. I don't know how it happens. It just does. When this personality is cold, they're really, really cold. And the reason they're cold when they're cold is because they're analyzing when they should execute, executing when they should analyze, focus on the task when they should the people when they should task. So it's like this personality is so complex. There's only about 6% of the top executive coaches in the world that know how to coach this type of personality. It's that complex. It's not bad. It's just complex.
Yep.
And so, questions on that?
No, that all rings true.
So in business, in corporate America, this type of woman will have a hard time typically with other women, because women are going to be very jealous of this type of woman because she actually knows how to think like a man. And so men are going to like her a lot. And when men like you a lot in business, women all gang up on you like wolves, and they attack you. And so it's just hard being this type of this type of woman. It's actually a pretty similar personality what Nora is. And so, so women that are like this tend to be drawn to me a lot, because I like them a lot. They like me a lot. And you get just a lot of things done. You impact a lot of people. How many hours would you say you're working a week now, Shannon?
At about 30 hours a week.
And how many would you ideally like to be working?
It ideally 20.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
And how many children do you have?
I've got two,
Nice. And what are their ages?
13 and 16.
Oh, those are fun ages. Yep.
Uh-huh.
I'll help you become the person God created you to be.
Yes.
And what does your husband do occupation wise?
He's retired now from the Coast Guard.
Oh, nice. Okay. Um, and what would be your wow income goal over the next 12 months? What would be something that would absolutely, totally rock your life?
I want to hit seven figures
Okay. And why?
because it's always been on my list. I know I'm not going to be fulfilled and satisfied when I hit it, but it's always been on my list.
Okay.
And that's a
And
hard answer.
yeah, you know what? Yeah, no, you get it. It's good insight. And so it's more from a stewardship perspective. Like if you're created to do that, then that's what you're supposed to do. You're just stewarding your gifts. How far into the seven figures?
I just want to hit a million.
Okay, gotcha. All right. And what's your minimum income goal?
Minimum income goal this year is 500.
Gotcha. And if you could change one thing about yourself, what would you change?
Oh, dang. Now you're putting me on the spot. Um, honestly, man, one thing about myself, I would want to show a little bit more compassion to, I don't want to say stupid people, but
Oh,
sometimes
totally
people
true.
really frustrate me and I get really
Oh my
pissed off.
goodness, that's totally true. Like this year, my theme for every year I have a new theme. Okay, every year I have a new theme, and this year is growing.
Yeah,
Last year was connecting the dots. The year before that was not connecting the dots, and I'm like, I'm going to spend the whole year just being stupid to try to figure out why are people stupid, and I figured it out. It's a beautiful place to be. like, like it's just you have no responsibility. You can act stupid. Oh my goodness. Like it's just like wow. Like it's just you just like wow. So it's cool that you want to show a little more compassion. I don't. Like I don't. I just like because they're gonna if you show them compassion, they're gonna continue to be stupid. That's my theory at 61. I haven't given up on them. They're still creating God's image. And,
absolutely.
and so I have a feeling like this year, I just figured out for the first time. So I'm not very smart. This is obvious. You probably are thinking, Mark, I knew that when I was 4. I'm like, I know. But like the simple definition is what's the difference between stupid and ignorant? Stupid is not doing what we know, and ignorant is not knowing what to do.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, oh, you touched a nerve, obviously, there. Okay. Um, Interesting. 1 to 10, how coachable would you say you are?
Oh, I'm an 8.
Okay. And your listening skills?
Very good.
1 to 10.
8, 9.
You do know you can say a 10, right?
Yeah, I know, but I never do. I
Okay. So I'm gonna give you some coaching. Okay. On one of these questions, give me a 10, okay?
Okay.
Okay. And see how it feels. It's gonna feel great. Okay. 1 to 10, your sales skills.
Oh, I'm a 10 on that one.
Nice. See, that wasn't hard. Didn't that
That
feel?
I would have answered 10 regardless of the
Are
coaching
you
on that
sure?
one.
See,
Yeah,
the analytic, it's almost morally wrong to say a 10.
it
So
it is. It is, but That's why I like Zoom calls.
right?
Because first and foremost, I want to make sure that I like you before I give you any of my gifts.
Okay. I like that attitude. Um, so I told Nora, she came to one of the events that my wife and I have 4 acres in northern Indiana, right on the river, and kind of turned it into a retreat center of healing and stuff like that. And so she came and she was sitting on the heart deck, and we got talking, and I told her, I said, I love people, I just don't like them. So I pretty much tell that as fast as I can to anybody. And she said, "Oh, you'll like me." And I said, "We'll see." And I do a lot. And um, so it's like, it's interesting. And then she introduced me to a friend, and her friend said, "You're going to like me and love me." I'm like, "Ooh, I don't know. I mean, but I love people naturally." But, anyways, 1 to 10, your sense of urgency.
9.
And what caused, like, that's high. Why would you say you have such a high sense of urgency?
Because there's always little gremlins. And so I'm constantly dealing with, am I good enough? Can I provide for my family? Am I doing the best for my clients? So I always have those little gremlins on my shoulder that I'm
Man, you
combating.
fascinate me. You just fascinate me. I just have so many other questions that I want to ask you. Like, I want to ask you, was your mom a firstborn?
No, she was the middle child of the last 14. So,
So Nora's the last of 10. Um,
dang,
yeah. And so is your mom an analytic?
no.
Interesting. Normally, women who say what you said just now, normally they're often their mom's a firstborn and often very analytic. So I'm interested to find out all of that, but we'll do that another time. 1 to 10, how much of a procrastinator would you say you are, Shannon? 10 being the highest.
6.
And when you do procrastinate, why do you procrastinate when you do?
Overwhelm.
And what do you get overwhelmed about?
Um, I have too many squirrels running around. And so I like to chase shiny objects. And there's a lot of shiny objects on occasion. And I say on occasion because it's not all the time, but I do. And I'm very strategic and I'm able to, set my list of 3 things I need to accomplish every day. I used to set a list of like 25 things that I needed to accomplish every day and realized that was like making me go psycho. And so I've narrowed it down to 3, but on occasion, things just start popping up where I'm like, I got to do that. And then I got to do that, and so then I get overwhelmed and just kind of stop.
Do you have a hard stop in 9 minutes?
No, let me check my schedule really fast. I believe I have a little bit longer. Yes, I have a little bit longer.
Okay. Like 5 minutes longer or 10 minutes or
15.
okay. All right. Um, so if you're being coached or mentored or partnering with somebody and they thought you were procrastinating, like how would you like them to respond to that to you?
Uh, a swift kick in the butt, honestly.
Okay.
I
Uh,
need to be called out. I don't like sugarcoating.
you find people have a hard time doing that to you?
Hmm.
Do you know why?
I think I intimidate people, but I'm really nice.
Well, so it's both. I would lead with the nice first.
Okay.
So the reason they don't call you out is because you're nice first. The based on your personality, yeah, it's intimidation. But I'm pretty good at identifying people's personality pretty quick. Like normally I can do it based on how they say hello.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I would not have guessed you were this personality. You're just a nice person. You're just really nice. But yeah, the intimidation comes at some point. So if it was a swift kick in the butt, would that work for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, it would work because it doesn't happen. Does that make sense?
It
When I'm
does.
being coached and such, it doesn't
Yeah.
happen. And so I have to
Right.
rely on myself to kick myself
Right.
in the butt.
Right. Right. Yep. I get that too. Oh, to have that problem for me where I was nice and everybody is really honest with me, man, which I love, but that's another whole. So if somebody, Shannon, if somebody said the following to you, like, how would you respond? So if somebody said to you, Shannon, I think you're coachable at a 1.5. Your listening skills are a 2. Your sales skills are a 2. Your sense of urgency is a 3, and your 10 on procrastination. If somebody said that to you, how would you respond?
Probably hang up
Okay, nice. Because
because I don't think that they heard me. But before I hung up the phone, I would still give them the opportunity to explain.
gotcha. 1 to 10, how much do you trust people? And if it's a 1 or 2, it's okay. It's not bad. It just is what it is.
Yeah, it's a 2. It takes a lot to trust people.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and what would you like it to be?
I would love it to be at least a 6.
Okay.
I'd like to be on that side of the spectrum.
Gotcha.
But it also goes back to dealing with stupid people, and so I never
Right?
trust them.
That's what I'm saying. That is exactly what I'm saying. I'm just like, come on. Like, I don't understand. Like, it just, oh, how much do you trust yourself?
I would say 8.
And how much do you trust me? And how much would you like to trust yourself?
I would like to trust myself a 10.
Okay. See, you did it twice, 2 10s. Like,
Yeah.
nice. Yep.
I'm like
And
winning today.
you're winning today. And how much do you trust Mark? And if it's a 1, it's okay too. It's not like I don't take any offense to it. It's not a problem. 1 to 10, how much do you
I'd
trust?
say I'd say a 6.
Okay, gotcha. What would you like it to be?
I would like it to be at least an 8.
Okay. So Nora, when we were talking, we went through everything, and then she trusted people at a 3. And so the day before she came, it was on a Saturday. We met on a Friday. She got served divorce papers from her husband. He's kind of a goofball a little bit. Um,
Yeah.
and um, and so Nora, how long did it take you to go from a 3 to a 10 on trust with me?
Like 2 weeks, maybe
Two
week
weeks.
and a half,
So I was a
2 weeks.
little slow, a little sloppy. I'm trying to improve my game, up my game a lot. And so,
2 weeks.
right. Um, and so is there any other questions, Shannon, that I should have asked that I didn't ask, or any additional information that we should know that we don't know?
I don't believe so.
Do you have any questions for me?
I don't think so.
You sure?
I don't think so.
I think you do.
I'm trying to figure out what I do. I know there's something there, but I
Right.
don't
So
know what it is.
I'm masterful at reading the subconscious, especially of women. So I'm
Yeah.
masterful at it. Nora's just amazed every day. She's just amazed. How does he read the subconscious of women? But when you read the subconscious of women, when you're a man, they're like, yeah, that's not what I was thinking. It's like your subconscious. You don't know what you're thinking. So I like when women do it themselves rather than me doing it, because then it gets all wonky. So there must be some question in there.
What led you to doing this?
Oh, good question. So I don't like school. So Nora was raised Amish. Okay, I didn't know that when I was a kid that if you join the Amish, you only have to go through eight grades of school. I didn't know that. If I had, I would have gone to my parents and say, "You have 2 options, mom and dad. You can either join the Amish or I am." Like, because I didn't like school. But I grew up in DuPage County in Chicago area, so very affluent. So that's what you did in high school. You just went to college. So I'm like, well, if I'm going to go to college, I'm going to go for college. And I love business. I've loved it since I was a little boy. Always knew that I would own my own company. I just love business. So I went to college, and so I picked up a bachelor's degree in finance, another one in management, another one in marketing. Um, And before that, though, my parents said, because my dad was a pastor, so my parents said, we want you to go to 1 year of Bible college. And I wasn't that interested, but honoring my parents, I'm like, okay, that's what they expect. And it's worthwhile. So good place to find a wife, I guess. So I found a wife. So, so, so she was 19 and I was 20 when we got married. We went through college. She went through college. She got her elementary education. She's the first one in both sides of her family graduated from high school. So her mom and dad, grandparents, nobody in her family had ever graduated from high school. So she graduated from college with her elementary education degree. We decided to start a family, and then we had 7 kids. And so when I got out of college, so my resume looked really good. I mean, really good. Like I had 7 years of management experience. So I had job history and leadership, and I'd started a number of my own companies, and I had the 3 degrees, and I was married. I mean, resume looked good. So I got 6 job offers coming out of college. And the only job that I knew I didn't want to do was sales, because didn't like salespeople, and I knew I wouldn't be good. I'm too honest. I just am way too honest, way too direct. So I wouldn't, and I don't like people, and people don't like me, and I'm okay with that. Like that's not my life vision to be liked by everybody. It's okay. And so, but I knew I wanted to start my own company, and I said it's probably be good to go ahead and have sales experience. So I took 100% straight commission position right out of college with a mortgage company as a loan officer. A little tiny company. They gave me 2 days of training and said, go out, go and sell. And so as a mortgage broker, so I did that. And I made $1 an hour, for the first 3 months. This was not good because we had decided to start a family, actually. So my wife was 3 months pregnant when I took the position. So she was 6 months pregnant 3 months later. I had 3 of those job offers that went ahead and said, hey, your profile, your experience, you're perfect. And these were good jobs. Like, they were good salary, benefits, company car. I mean, they were really good jobs. But I knew that I would rather die in the jungle than live in the zoo. I don't know how I knew it. I just knew it. I just and my in-laws, they were like, you're doing what? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to straight commission position. They're like, Mark, shouldn't you get established? Your wife is 3 months pregnant. You have these other good job offers. Like, shouldn't you do that? I'm like, nope, shouldn't do that. It's not going to get any easier. So I took a job with that, made $1 an hour, got destroyed. 3 of those jobs said to me, if it doesn't work out, you have a job opening, which is really not good to have those options. Like but I said, Mark, you've never failed at anything you've ever tried. You're not going to start now. Figure it out. Went in the president's office, pounded literally on his desk, said, Tony, I'm doing everything you guys are telling me to do. None of it's working. Like it doesn't work. And he's like, well, Mark, it takes, 12 to 18 months to succeed, which they didn't tell me at the beginning. But I didn't have a time to whine. Like, it's just like, okay. I'm like, I don't have 12 to 18 months. And he says, well, what do you think you ought to do? I said, well, I think I ought to do this, this, and this. He said, well, go do it. I'm like, okay, I will. And fortunately for me, I'd started a number of my own companies while I was in college. One of them was a computer company, so I had more computing power at home than the whole company had. So I said, you're not really smart. You really don't like people, and you're not good at sales. What are you good at? And I said, well, I'm really good at studying people who are successful. Then I'll put it in a system, and then I'll just figure it out. And I did that. So it took me a month to come up with the first tool. So I was out there for 4 months just getting beat the living daylights out of me. And I went out there with that first tool and accomplished more in a week than I had in 4 months. I'm like, oh, this is working good now. Okay. And so 6 months after I joined the company, I was promoted to a regional manager, but still doing straight commission sales. Then I was promoted to a marketing manager 6 months after that. And a year after that, offered a position as VP of sales with an equity position in the company. So I wanted to make a 6-figure income within 7 years and be an executive position, a C-level position. I was able to do that in a year and a half. So I was with that company for 4 years. I saw the golden handcuffs come out after 3 years. I said, yep, that's not going to happen. So I resigned, had 3 kids. He said, are you going to start a mortgage company? I said, I'm honestly not sure what I'm going to do. And he says, I had thought you were going to do this, but I didn't think it was for another 4 years. I said, yeah, nope, it's happening. He says, would you mind sticking around for a year? And I'm like, sure. So I did. And then I started Synergy Solutions. And so that's the company I've owned for 34 years. And so that company, a lot of our clients call it coaching, executive coaching, business coaching. It's really not. It's really, we're an architect engineering company. So most businesses own a company. They don't own a job, or they own a job, not a company. So we go in and architect the systems, the tools, the mindset, the thinking to help them to get the systems in place so they can own a company rather than owning a job. And so I've owned that company for 34 years. And so that's what we do, is we do that. So that's how I got into it. I told the president of the company within 6 months, I said, God's kind of led me to do this. This is my life vision. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get everything up and going by the time I turn 30. And then I'm going to have equity in the company. So I just said, I'm going to own part of the company. He says, I'm like, no, that's what's going to happen. And I said, by the time I'm 30, you won't need me because I'll have replaced me, but I'll have ownership, and that's how I'm going to make money. And he says, yeah, Mark, we're really not interested in that. I said, well, don't promote me then. And they did. And then the golden handcuffs came out and said, yep, that's not going to happen. And so I resigned from the company there. So that's how I saw, like, in the mortgage industry, I'm like, this is a stupid industry. They're still stupid. Like, even 40 years later, they still don't know how to mark. Anyways, but that was when mortgage brokers were new. And so we built that company from one of the smallest to one of the largest in the Midwest. At 27, I was on track to make $460,000 a year and had $1 million of equity, and left all of that with 3 kids and started Synergy Solutions. And so it's just, I love helping business owners to get freedom. Like the freedom I have, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. And so my goal is by the time I turn 70, so in 8 years, I want to help 1,000 business owners, gain the freedom that I have now. Do it a lot sooner than I did. I was hoping to do it by the time I was 30, but it took me until I was 55. So just 25 years off. But I can shave that down with other people. Other questions, Shannon?
Why do you like helping people so much?
It's the right thing to do. It's just
good answer.
It's just the right thing to do. I'm just an average, below average kind of, I really am. And I get that. God told me that at 8. And so if I go ahead, and so I think every human being, all 8+ billion people on the planet, are amazing because God created them to be amazing. They all have an amazing vision. They don't have to be stupid. They choose to be stupid. I really think that. And that bothers me because it's morally wrong. Like, I see all these people that are so much smarter than me. Like, they really are. And it doesn't take a lot to be smarter than me. And they're smarter than me, but they're not good stewards. They're not good stewards of the 7 T's: time, talent, treasure, trust, truth, temple, and thought. So if we're good stewards of those 7 T's, then we can do amazing things. And so it's heartbreaking to me to go ahead and see people that are amazing. They really are, but they choose to be stupid. And that bothers me. It's morally wrong. So it's like I've been given all these gifts. Like, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to help people to become who they were created to be. And if I don't do that, it's morally wrong. Other questions?
No, I think that was it.
Okay. What would you like our next step to be?
I'd like to learn more about how to work with you, what that looks like, all of those kind of things. Because I think you are someone capable of kicking me in the butt when needed.
Why do you think that? I mean, I'm a really nice guy and pleasant.
You're very kind. You're so sweet.
That's what I'm looking for. So why do you think, what gives you the impression that I could kick you in the butt?
Because this has been a no-nonsense conversation, and I really don't like floral conversations. I don't have time for them.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I believe that, that to whom much is given, much is expected, and you have been gifted with so many things that are really unusual. I can feel it, sense it, see it. The data shows me, but I can just feel all of that. And so anything less than your best is morally wrong. and I believe you're going to give an account for it. And if I'm helping you, then I'm going to give an account for it too. Like,
Yeah.
so as much as I like you, you have to do certain things to achieve where you want to go. What I would recommend, Shannon, is there's something that's called a business X-ray, business life X-ray. It takes an hour to do the interview. And since I got to meet you, I'd personally do the review of all of the results on that. A few years ago, I had the privilege of doing the review on somebody I'd talked to, a client of ours. And at the end of the review, I said, "Do you have any questions?" He said, "Yeah, I'm really ticked off." And I said, "Why is that?" And he said, "I wish I'd have known you a year ago." I'm like, "Okay, why?" And he said, "Because Mark, I spent $40,000 having an outside company come in and analyze my business. And I learned more from your $285 business x-ray than I did the 40,000. I'm like, dang, I wish we'd have known you a year ago too, because we could have saved you a lot of money. So the business X-ray, it looks at 3 dimensions in the business, looks at 9 major areas, 7 systems, looks over 40 areas of your business and life. It looks at what you're doing, little tweaks you can do to improve. It's magical. And so it is $285. It's not coaching and it's not a business plan. It's just a very thorough assessment that helps us to understand somebody. And then from that point, then we have a better understanding of saying, hey, we'd recommend doing this or that or whatever. Every business X-ray is different because every human being in business is different. So I would recommend that. I think you would enjoy that a lot and benefit, and that would help us to understand you even more.
That works for me.
Okay. Nora would be doing the interview with you, and then she would schedule that. Again, that'd be about an hour. So what time zone is Alaska?
It is an hour behind Pacific. It's in Alaska time.
Gotcha. Okay. So that's going to be 4 hours. And so is it 7 a.m. there?
It's 6:39.
6:39. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. So, do you have availability tomorrow for an hour interview with Nora?
I could do this same time tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern.
Are you available for that, Nora? 10 a.m. tomorrow?
I think so. Let me just check really quick. C7. Yes. Yes.
And then, is it the 907-202-3628?
Yep.
And so she'll just call you, just sit back and relax. She'll just ask you questions. It's really fun to go through. You'll enjoy it a lot. And then she'll schedule a 1-hour follow-up on that with me.
Perfect.
Anything else you have, Shannon?
I don't believe so.
Do you know anybody like you? Do you have other people in your life like you?
No.
That's
It's a very lonely place to be.
It is. But what's cool, at least for me, I like being alone. Nora, she doesn't like being alone. Me, I'm fine with it because then I don't have to deal with stupid people. It's like, but boy, do I enjoy talking with people like you and Nora. Like, it's just, I don't know. It gives me hope.
It's kind of crazy because you want to I have to fill my cup with people, but then I have to retreat. And so I have to kind of shut myself in for a little bit after dealing with people. Like I get peopled out really bad.
Right. Yeah, me too. Yeah.
But I still crave the connection. I think hoping that people aren't as stupid.
Right? There's 8 billion people on the planet. There's got to be one. So, yeah, I have a feeling you and I will talk about. Have you ever written a book?
A little bit.
Okay. What's the book on?
It's really about my burnout story and corporate and climbing the ladder and realizing I was getting nowhere.
How long were you in corporate?
20 some years.
Wow. You look really young.
I'm 40 this year.
Nice. You are young.
I am. So I jumped right into, I actually, Mark, this is something you don't know about me. I went to college to be a special education elementary school teacher.
That totally makes sense. That's why
Okay.
you're so successful in corporate America, because that's exactly what you're
It's just
dealing
herding
with.
cats.
It's it's the exact same thing. Like I found elementary education teachers are the best salespeople in the world. And so, yeah, special ed, that's why you're so successful in corporate America. Like it's
Yeah.
true. Like
Yeah.
just like they think they're really smart, but maybe not as smart as they. What company, if I can ask?
What company was I
What
with?
did you work with in corporate America?
I worked with multiples. So I had time with Wells Fargo. I had time with an Alaska Native Corporation, um, multiple positions.
How long were you with Wells?
I was only with them for 2 years.
You did good to
I
stay with
survived.
them. Right.
I survived and realized this is BS and I'm never coming back here.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yepper. I get that. Anything else you have, Shannon?
I think that's it. This was awesome.
It was a lot of fun. Thank you and look forward to talking to you again soon.
Absolutely. You guys have a great day. Nora, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks.
Bye
Bye.
bye.